The sun peeked over the green leaves, warming up the bustling garden where Buzz the bee lived. It was a place normally full of every color you could imagine. But today, Buzz had a very big problem. He flew as fast as his little wings could carry him to the big, quiet hive. Queen Beatrice, the kindest and wisest bee in all the land, looked sad. Her beautiful crown, which usually shimmered with every color of the rainbow, had faded. It was dull and gray. Buzz felt a big wave of sadness for his queen. He knew he had to help. Queen Beatrice explained in a soft, tired voice that the only way to make her crown shiny again was to find the most special, most vibrant pollen in the entire garden. She needed 3 specific colors to weave their magic back into the crown. She needed a bright, sunny yellow pollen, a deep, royal purple pollen, and a pure, delicate white pollen. Buzz puffed out his little chest. He would find those colors. He promised the queen he would not come back until he had all 3. This was going to be a big color quest. Buzz zoomed out of the hive, ready to find the first color, yellow. He thought to himself that yellow should be easy. The sun was yellow. His own stripes were yellow. He buzzed around the garden, looking high and low. He saw green leaves and brown branches, but where was the perfect yellow? He started to feel a little worried. What if he couldn't find it? Then he remembered the big sunny meadow at the edge of the garden. That was always full of bright flowers. Buzz flew over to the meadow. It was bustling with activity, but something was wrong. The biggest, sunniest flowers, the ones that were usually a brilliant yellow, were all drooping their heads. They looked so sad. Buzz felt a new feeling, empathy. He couldn't just take their pollen, he had to help them first. He flew down and asked a droopy flower why it was so sad. The flower explained that a big rock was blocking the sunlight, and without the warm sun, they couldn't be their happy, yellow selves. Buzz knew he couldn't move the big rock alone. This was a job for teamwork. He saw his friend Bartholomew the beetle marching along. Bartholomew was very strong. Buzz asked him for help. Then he spotted Cece the cricket, who could jump very high. He asked Cece for help too. Working together, teaming up with his friends, Buzz the bee, Bartholomew the beetle, and Cece the cricket pushed and shoved and rocked that big stone until it rolled right out of the way. A beam of warm yellow sunlight landed right on the flowers. The flowers slowly lifted their heads. Their petals began to glow with a bright, happy yellow, as warm and cheerful as a sunbeam on your face. They were so grateful for the help. They offered Buzz all the sunny yellow pollen he could carry. Buzz carefully collected the precious yellow pollen, storing it safely in his little pollen baskets. He thanked his friends for their teamwork. The first color was found, but he still needed 2 more. Can you guess which color he needs to find next? That's right, purple! Now where could a little bee find a royal, majestic purple? Buzz flew past the red roses and the blue cornflowers, but he needed a special purple. He wondered if maybe the purple pansies near the old stone wall could help. But when he got there, the pansies were not a deep purple. They were a pale and sickly lavender. Buzz felt concerned. What was wrong with them? A wise old earthworm poked his head out of the soil. He explained that the pansies were thirsty. Their roots needed a drink of cool, fresh water to become strong and purple again. The problem was the watering can was all the way across the garden, and it was much too heavy for one little bee to carry. Buzz knew what he had to do. He needed to be dedicated to his quest, and he needed to use teamwork again. He buzzed around until he found his friend Felicity the butterfly. Felicity was delicate but very fast. Buzz explained the problem to Felicity. Without a second thought, Felicity fluttered her wings and flew off to find more help. She returned with a whole team of her butterfly friends. Each beautiful butterfly took a tiny hold of the watering can. Working together, they lifted it into the air, a swirling cloud of wings, and carried it over to the thirsty pansies. They tipped the can ever so gently, and a cool shower of water rained down on the dry soil. The pansies drank and drank. As they did, their colors began to change. They deepened and grew richer and richer until they were a magnificent royal purple, the color of a twilight sky. It was the most beautiful purple Buzz had ever seen. The pansies, feeling strong again, offered their pristine purple pollen to the helpful bee. Buzz gently collected the royal purple pollen, being very careful with the delicate petals. He thanked Felicity and the butterfly team for their amazing teamwork. 2 colors were now safe, only 1 more to go. The final color was white. Buzz looked around the garden for white. He saw fluffy white clouds in the sky, but he couldn't reach those. He needed white pollen. He flew to the patch of white daisies he loved. But oh no, the daisies were not bright white. They were covered in a layer of gray dust from the dry path. They looked gloomy and dirty. Buzz knew he couldn't collect dusty pollen for the queen's crown. It had to be pure and clean. He felt a little frustrated. How could he clean all these daisies? He landed on a dusty petal to think. Suddenly, he felt a tiny vibration, then another. A drop of water landed right on his wing, then another. He looked up. A gentle, soft rain had begun to fall from the sky. It was the perfect kind of rain, a light shower that washed everything clean. Buzz ducked under a large green leaf to stay dry and watched the magic happen. The rain washed over the daisies, rinsing away every speck of dust. When the rain stopped and the sun came out again, the daisies gleamed. They were a pristine, beautiful white, as pure and clean as freshly fallen snow. Each center was a perfect, bright yellow sun. The daisies, feeling fresh and happy, shook their heads gently, offering their delicate white pollen to the bee who had waited so patiently for them. Buzz carefully collected the final color, the pure white pollen. He had done it. Through dedication and with the help of all his friends, he had found all 3 colors. He flew back to the hive as fast as he could, his heart buzzing with excitement. Queen Beatrice was waiting patiently. Buzz presented the 3 precious pollens, the sunny yellow, the royal purple, and the pristine white. The queen smiled a warm smile. She began to weave the pollens together with her magic. The yellow pollen glowed like sunshine, the purple pollen swirled like magic, and the white pollen sparkled like a star. As she worked, the faded crown began to change. It absorbed the vibrant colors, becoming more and more beautiful with every second. Soon it was finished. The crown was more magnificent than ever before, shimmering with bright yellow, deep purple, and sparkling white. It was the most beautiful thing Buzz had ever seen. Queen Beatrice placed the crown back on her head, her happiness filling the entire hive. She praised Buzz for his incredible dedication and for his wonderful ability to work with his friends. She said that it was not just his hard work, but the teamwork of the whole garden that had saved the day. Buzz felt a warm glow of pride. He had learned that by working together, even the biggest problems can be solved, and the most beautiful colors can be found. And as for Buzz, his adventures in the bustling garden were far from over. The very next day, a new puzzle would arrive, one that would require a whole new kind of learning. For deep in the heart of the old oak tree, a mysterious box had appeared, locked with a curious lock that needed not colors, but shapes to be opened. But that is a story for another time. Moral: by working together as a team and staying dedicated to a task, you can help others and achieve amazing things.